They were sons of the Emperor. They were Primarchs. They led legions. They fought in the Great Crusade. And yet, they do not exist. Of the 20 Primarchs created by the Emperor of Mankind, 2 were erased so completely that even their names were forbidden. Not lost in time, not forgotten by chance. They were removed. The Imperium insists on a lie, that the truth of the Lost Primarchs was simply forgotten. But the Black Library tells a different story. We know this much with absolute certainty. They existed. They were rediscovered during the Great Crusade. They commanded Space Marine legions. They fought alongside their brothers. And then, something happened. By Imperial decree, all records of the 2nd and 11th Primarchs were erased. Their legions were dissolved. Their names were stricken from memory, and all discussion of them was forbidden, even among the Primarchs themselves. Though history was rewritten, some still remembered, and those memories terrified them. In the chamber at the end of memory, Rogel Dawn briefly recalls the Lost Primarchs, before Malcador physically forces the knowledge from his mind. Dawn realizes something horrifying. The erasure was not symbolic, it was literal. The Emperor did not merely ban their names, he made his sons forget them. What of their Space Marines? The 2nd and 11th Legions did not die with their Primarchs. Instead, they were absorbed. Multiple sources hint that their surviving warriors were quietly folded into other legions, most strongly the Ultramarines. Reboot Guilliman's legion grew unusually large, unusually fast. Too fast. This was no act of mercy. It was containment. Primarchs fell later. Horus, Magnus, Lorgar, Angron. They betrayed the Imperium, and yet they were remembered. So what could the Lost Primarchs have done that was worse? The answer lies not in reason, but in threat. The most common theory is the simplest. One or both Lost Primarchs fell to chaos before the heresy. At a time when the Emperor was desperately suppressing all knowledge of the warp, such a revelation would have shattered the Imperial truth. If chaos could corrupt a Primarch that early, then the Crusade itself was built on a lie. Another theory is more tragic, that one of the Lost Primarchs was flawed. Unstable genetics, warp mutation, a Primarch whose very existence threatened the gene lines of all others. The Emperor could tolerate monsters like Angron, but he could not allow a flaw that endangered the future of humanity itself. One of the most chilling theories suggests the opposite of corruption, that the Lost Primarch was a blank, a being whose presence annihilated the warp, a Primarch who could sever humanity from psychic evolution. To the Emperor, who planned mankind's ascension as a psychic race, such a son would be an existential threat. Another forbidden possibility, that one of the Lost Primarchs refused genocide, that he sought alliance rather than extermination, integration rather than annihilation. In a crusade built on human supremacy, such ideas were unforgivable. The Rangdang Xenocides were among the most horrific wars in Imperial history. Entire legions were destroyed. Even the Emperor took to the field. Some believe the Lost Primarchs were involved and failed, or worse, defected. Whispers persist that Leman Russ played a role, that one Lost Primarch was executed. Russ never confirms it, but he never denies it either, and the silence is telling. Malcador once said that remembering the Lost Primarchs would have destroyed the Imperium before it was born. Not weakened it, but destroyed it. The truth of the Lost Primarchs is not hidden because it is shameful. It is hidden because it is dangerous. They prove that the Emperor was not infallible, that his sons were not inevitable, that the Imperium could have failed long before Horus ever turned. And now, the truth ends where speculation begins. The Imperium erased 2 sons from history, but it could not erase curiosity. Were the Lost Primarchs corrupted by chaos before the heresy ever began? Were they flawed, unstable experiments never meant to endure? Did one stand against genocide and pay the price? Or did they uncover a truth so dangerous that even the Emperor could not allow it to be known? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, were they truly destroyed? Or are they still out there, waiting beyond history, beyond memory? Tell us your theories. What do you believe happened to the Lost Primarchs? And if their story were revealed tomorrow, would the Imperium survive the truth? The Lost Primarchs had names. They had faces. They had dreams. But the Imperium does not mourn them. It pretends they never were. And perhaps that is the greatest tragedy of all. Not that they fell, but that they were never allowed to be remembered.